I now have the extraordinary pleasure of introducing His Excellency An Ho-young, Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to the United States, who will be giving congratulatory remarks. Your Excellency.
Some of you come from Korea. Do you realize what time it is in Seoul? It's 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So for some of you who come from Seoul, then I'm not surprised that you will be feeling sleepy, right? But at the same time, those of you who come from Washington, D.C., this is 2 o'clock, just after lunch. So again, I understand you when you feel sleepy, right? So let's just try this. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Once again, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Third time, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hope you feel a little better now, right? Well, thank you so much for being here this afternoon. And then I have to congratulate you in the sense that you are here at this Korean-American Forum on Peaceful Unification. Why do I say that? Many reasons. And I guess maybe at least I can tell you 3 reasons why I should be congratulating you for being here this afternoon. First reason, good timing. Good timing. And why do I say that? It's because we are going to discuss peaceful unification today. And all of you would agree that peaceful unification or national unification is the most important issue facing Korea. But somehow, back in Korea, this very important issue has not been sufficiently discussed up until earlier this year. Up until New Year statement by President Park Geun-hye. And then it was through her New Year's statement that President Park reminded us about the blessing, about all the benefits that unification will bring to us. Economic benefit, security benefit, and most importantly, humanitarian benefit. And then that was in January this year. And this statement of President Park, it in fact made a sea change in the level as well as quality of discussions back in Seoul on peaceful unification. So all year round, there have been very lively discussions on this very important subject facing Korea, national unification. And I guess there has been certain spillover effect into Washington, D.C. as well. So this is at least 4th forum, 4th seminar that I'm attending as an ambassador representing Korea to the United States of America. So why do I say it's a good timing? It's because throughout the whole year, we have been benefiting from those newly enlivened discussions on this very important subject, national unification, back in Korea as well as in Washington, D.C. And then this is November. So maybe this is what I would call a harvesting time. We should be harvesting what we have been discussing so far throughout the whole year. So that is the reason why this is a very good timing to be having this forum here in Washington, D.C. My second reason, it is because of who in fact is organizing this forum today. I told you, this is 4th forum, 4th seminar that I'm attending in Washington, D.C. on the issue of national unification. The first forum, first seminar, was organized by Presidential Council of Economic Advisors coming from Korea. And then you could understand, they in fact are economic advisors for the president. And then for that reason, obviously and apparently, and quite understandably, much focus was on economic impact of national unification. Second forum I attended, it was organized by a group of government-affiliated think tanks back in Korea. So they came to Washington, D.C. And then many of them, in fact, were government think tanks working on the issue of security and then foreign policy issues. So again, quite naturally, quite understandably, their focus was on security and then foreign policy aspect of unification. third forum, which was held just last month, it was organized by a highly respected group of journalists coming from Korea. And then for that reason, again, quite understandably, their focus was on public policy aspect of this discussion. But this is the fourth forum. Who is organizing this fourth forum? That is National Unification Advisory Council. In short, they call it NUAC, National Unification Advisory Council, and that in fact is a constitutional institution coming from Korea. And then its mandate is to review, discuss, and promote and propagate issues related with national unification. So in other words, it is the most authoritative, as well as most legitimate, as well as most comprehensively mandated, empowered institution in Korea on the issue of national unification. So that is the reason why this forum is rather unique. And then that, I think, is the reason why you can just see it with your own eyes. I mean, the kind of speakers we have today, they are the top-rate speakers we can have from Korea, as well as from the United States of America. So that is the second reason why I say you are lucky to be here this afternoon. And then let me try to share with you, with my third and final reason why I think I should be congratulating you for being here this afternoon. It is because of issues we are going to discuss today. In front of you, you have the program for today. And then today, we are going to have two sessions. In the first session, we are going to discuss about the possibility of changes in North Korea. That is in the first session. And then what is the subject for the second session? In the second session, we are going to discuss about architecture for peace in Northeast Asia. So I looked at the program and I said to myself, somehow those two themes for two sessions we have today, in fact, they cover almost all of the issues which I think must be discussed when we discuss issues related with national unification. Because I think we cannot be complete in our discussions of issues related with the national unification if we do not discuss all the three tiers of related issues. First tier, there's the issues related with developments in North Korea. That is the first tier in my mind. What is the second tier? Second tier are issues related with issues relating between South and North Korea, inter-Korean issues. What is the third tier? That's regional politics in Northeast Asia. So in my mind, if we want to be thorough, if we want to be comprehensive, if we want to be encompassing whole issues that should be covered when we discuss issues related with national unification, these are the three tiers we should be looking at: North Korea, inter-Korean relationship, and Northeast Asia, politics in Northeast Asia. And against such a background or such a framework, I always have on issues related with national unification. As I told you, issues which should be covered are covered in our first session as well as in the second session. So what should be covered when we discuss about developments in North Korea? I think we should be discussing about denuclearization of North Korea. We should be discussing about quality of human rights in North Korea. We should be discussing about all those problems we are having with respect to health of newborn babies, young children, and mothers in North Korea. In other words, humanitarian issues. At the same time, we should be discussing about why North Korean economy is flagging so badly. For the time being, North Korean GDP is 2.5% of South Korean GDP. 2.5%, not 25%. It is 2.5% of South Korean GDP. Why? Because of infrastructure. So that's another issue we should be discussing. And as division of the country continues, it is almost 70 years now, the cultural split between South and North Korea, it is getting wider and it is getting deeper with every passing day. So these are the kind of issues that should be discussed under the first tier, that is to say developments in North Korea, as well as and then if we have to think about how we could be improving these issues, then of course we should be having discussions on the second tier, that is to say inter-Korean relationship. And when you think about national unification, then we always talk about German lessons to be learned from German unification. And then what is one of the very important lessons we should be learning from German unification? That is the role or responsibility of countries which are closely related with the two Germanys at that time. That is to say 2+4 process. And I think most probably we will have to think about the same thing when it comes to national unification of Korea. That is to say our relationship with the countries with deep involvement in Northeast Asia. That is to say United States, China, Russia, etc., etc. So that, I think, is what I mean by saying third tier. So that's what I always believe in, that is to say the importance of looking at all these issues together, all three different tiers of issues together, and somehow the organizers for today's seminar, they in fact put them into those two sessions, first session and second session, and that is the third reason. So let me try to briefly sum it up. Again, I thank you for being here this afternoon, and I congratulate you for being here this afternoon. Why? Because of good timing, because of good organizers, and because of very interesting issues that we are going to discuss today. So congratulations, and thank you, and let's enjoy this afternoon. Thank you so much.